Hi We Are Movie Club, it's me Jenny, and if you don't know what We Are Movie Club is, if you're new to my channel, then We Are Movie Club is a tag game that I've been playing along with a couple of other movie clubbers. If you want to catch up, I'll put a link down here to my playlist of all the previous choosers. Last week was my choice and this week was Liam's choice, and I'll put a link to Liam's channel somewhere up here. And he chose The Losers, which is a 2010 action film, and my quickie review for this film is it's such a fun film. Yes, it's an action film that defies the laws of physics, the laws of perhaps plot development, and sometimes definitely the laws of biology, because if you've been shot in both your legs you probably won't be making quips, but it's still brilliant to watch. It's fun, it's frivolous, and considering that this Christmas, despite being incredibly fun, was slightly stressful given that pretty much everyone that I've met this entire holiday has been suffering from some sort of ailment, apart from me, this was such a nice kind of blank brain happiness. Like all the way through, for the most part I had a grin on my face. There's enough deep thinking metaphors that you could go into to do with gender politics and colour scheme metaphors. There's a lot of things like the conversation with the why shouldn't you trust a cat and which character that relates to, and all of the little kind of subconscious things that are put in there. There's enough depth to this in the same way that there's enough depth to a comic strip, that you can really get into the nitty gritty if you want to, and if you don't want to you can just look at the pretty pictures and enjoy the fun, and that's kind of what I did for this. I really like the way that the director used this. Of course it's got because it's based on a comic strip, there's a lot of panel work, so you can almost feel where the panels are. The sequence where they're walking and the American flag flaps in the background and then in the foreground, and like an A-team sort of moment where they march forward. And there's a lot of other panel shots where it just feels like you could freeze frame that and it's directly from a comic strip. So there's a lot of that sort of things. There's specific colour timing throughout the entire film, whether or not it's selecting one or two primary colours per sequence. Like the first sequence in the jungle, it's all yellows, greens and blues, and those are pretty much the only colours you see. And then in the hotel sequence, of course, it's very reds and orangey, it's very fiery, which brings them towards the end of the scene. Any scenes with Max are mostly grey blues with usually a kind of ocean blue in the background. They keep it very slate, which is a really nice mixed metaphor for his character, because his character is so bizarrely calm and then we'll just do something crazy, which is a great thing for a villain because you kind of want to be on edge. Although I did see, the moment that I saw that, I don't know, PA with the umbrella walking next to him, and I was like, you're discussing your entire evil plan in front of an unnamed PA female. This is not going to end well for her. Like, it's weird enough that you're discussing your evil plan with your, you know, psychic henchman, but discussing in front of an unnamed character, she is not going to live very long. And so I kind of saw that one coming, but, you know, it's one of those interesting moments where you're like, I know what's coming. Are you really going to do that much of a dick move? Oh yes you are. You know, he killed a bunch of kids. He's evil. They very much put him in the evil and slightly eccentric and weirdly quirky, enough that even though, because there isn't that much playoff with the main characters, he's not the best villain, because you don't really have that animosity. You definitely know he is bad, these guys are our heroes. So you have that real stringent separation, so you know he's the bad guy. And I think, particularly with his character and the way that this film ends, it screams for sequels. It screams to be a trilogy, so I really like to see sequels because it's fun. I like the direction, I like the way that the villains balance, I like most of the actors. I think my favourite by far would be Zoe Saldana or Chris Evans. Zoe Saldana, God, is she a beautiful lady. And, you know, if you're playing a drinking game, have a shot every time they have a direct shot of her bottom, because that is a beautiful bottom and there is a lot of shots of it. But she really, as a character, her character is really strong, although the character arc with her father is a bit confusing because she blames Clay for the death of her father, even though he was going to get killed in the airstrike anyway. Just because he got shot in the chest 2 minutes before the airstrike does not make Clay responsible, or at least directly responsible for his death. And he was holding a child hostage at the time. You know, it kind of, it makes it a bit like her vendetta is against Clay when in fact her father was going to get killed in an air raid anyway. It just seems a bit silly. But I did like the fact that she's an equalizer to the boys. You know, she's a badass lady, and you can really believe that she could kick some ass. My god, she must have worked out for this role, because, yeah, she can kick some ass. I love Chris Evans' character as well. I think he's definitely the comic relief. He has some stellar lines that I think everyone's going to be quoting left, right and centre. He's also kick-ass, and the concept of him being the nerdy dorky type as well as looking the way he does is just such a beautiful combination. During his big hero sequence, the grin could not stop. It was just giggling happiness. And yeah, that's about it really. I really enjoyed this film. It's incredibly fun. There's enough depth that you can find depth if you're looking for it. There's enough silliness that you can switch off your brain, ignore the laws of biology, physics, chemistry, I think there must have been some chemistry in here, and technology that's available in this day and age, because most of it doesn't make sense, but it's still immensely fun. My sister has a drinking game, which is the stereotypical action flick drinking game, and this film is perfect for it. It is so good. And considering that I was slightly disappointed by Mission Impossible 5, Mission Impossible 4, the Untouchables, and the Expendables. Sorry, I'm not going to retake this, it's just going to be as it is. The Untouchables, Mission Impossible 4 and Die Hard 5 were all a little bit disappointing to me because it kind of just didn't get to that kind of happy buzzy level of action. This one did, and I really enjoyed it. So that's about it. Sorry for talking so long, and I will see you guys all soon. Next week's Courtney, I'll put a link up to her here, and bye guys.